Hey, welcome, all my right thinkers. Thanks for tuning in and check out your boy, B Farm. Thinking right out here in my lab. Oh, I got books. I got books. I'm in the books. Okay. I'm really in the books. I got this for a reason. It's the part of the lesson today. I had to pull out my big guns, all right, to make a point. That's all. All teaching purposes. All right, let's go. Right, this is 25 rules to live by. Storytelling, story with a message. There's a message in my stories for life. I give you life lessons. You tune in to receive them. I greatly appreciate you. Let's do what we do. I got you. Right thinking, mission, and that's what I'm on, is to enlighten, inspire, educate, and motivate you, the individual, to a higher spiritual level of enlightenment. Right thinkers way of life through mental and spiritual discipline, practice daily, will help and guide you to obtain your goal of reaching spiritual enlightenment, aka know thyself. My mission is that all right thinkers know thyself. If you're a right thinker, your goal is to, know thyself. You see where we're going with this? Let's get there together. So I ask the question, do you know you? You should, and you will when I'm through. That's what I do. It's rhetorical, but if you had an answer for yourself, tune in. I got you. That's what Putin said to my man. I got your back. Don't worry. All right. A person who knows not, it knows not that they know not, I can't help you. They foolish. Disregard them. A person who knows not and knows that they know not, it's simple. So you can teach them. That's why I do what I do for you. Appreciate you too. Stay tuned. I got more for you. A person who knows not and believe and think they know. Hand stack of Bible. I got two Bibles. I'm putting my hand on a stack of Bibles. Okay? And those who believe and think they know is dangerous. Avoid them. I do. A person who knows and knows not that they know is spiritually asleep. I can awaken them. I'm a spiritual alarm clock here to wake you up with. Knowledge yourself. That's what I do for you. A person who knows and knows that they know is wise. Follow them. All these persons reside in you. Right thinkers know thyself and to my eye be true. This is a lesson that I got a bunch of fluff that I call it information that don't really interest a bunch of people, so I don't get into that. So I, do a little cherry picking. Right now, right thinkers, let's talk about this issue. And we proved a long time ago the question that the Commission, aka the Egyptians, were black, and they knew they was black. They knew the difference between them and other people. I got the receipts to prove it. But my thing, when I was a Bible thumper, and I was, okay, I want to read you. I got two Bibles, okay. This is the Holy Bible. But now, watch this. I'm gonna read the first part. The Holy Bible. This book contains the Old and New Testaments. Okay. This is the King James Version. Again, okay. I'm just giving information. Translated out of the original tongues and with the former translations, diligently compared and revised. Don't quite know what that means, but I'm just reading. I ain't trying to break it down. I ain't for that purpose. I'm just gonna show you what they do. And now it says this is the part. The giant print reference edition. That's what this book is, I guess. It says with read along references, read along translations, and special study aids, which is a concordance. Okay, that's what information. But then it says, excuse me, words of Christ in red. I ain't even going there. That's what I'm saying. I ain't here for that. That's not what I'm here for. This is the book that I was given. See down there bottom? See that? That's Hebrew. Okay. I studied with the Hebrew Israelites for 2 years. So I know that book. But when I was studying this book, know what we was trying to prove? Because in Egypt, everybody here was black. That was my whole emphasis on with the Bible. I know all the stories, but we as a people, do we know that stories about us? That was our whole point to prove when I was in the Bible, okay, the Hebrews, okay? That's what they taught you, how to recognize and understand the Bible from a black perspective, okay? Every picture in this Bible is of black people, no white people. That's the Bible that I got. And matter of fact, that Bible was gifted to me by my teacher for being a diligent student. He also ran a bookstore. He was very smart. He saw me as being an up and coming smart young man, and he helped the cause. Still appreciate him, Mr. Martin. Mm-hmm. All right, get out of here, get out of here. Hey, get out, let that go, man. All right. My teacher taught me how to study for that book. That's what I'm saying. And after 2 years, he gave me the book. So I'm always having an understanding of what y'all call the whole. Been there, done that. Okay. Now, where we at? So I want to get that out the way. So now we can start because they were still arguing that the Egyptians was. Let me get to this. All right, now the lesson can start. All right, but this is all for educational purpose. You'll see how it should tie in as I start reading to you when we get to the next lesson. All right, but having read the preceding excerpts, which was published in 1993, West, one might think that the Orthodox Egyptology has never been successfully challenged on what they say. Oh, yes, they have. What's this? African, African American, and other African Egyptologists in the diaspora faced the same problem. What? When they brought forth evidence. I just gave you my evidence from the Bible, okay? And this is way after. Watch this. Now, which prove what? When you give evidence, receipts that y'all call me today, I got a problem with that same thing, but when you got that, which proves that what? The ancient Egyptian civilization was originally created by African people and that people of African descent played a crucial role in the development of ancient Egyptian culture and its interaction with other world cultures. This engendered a major storm. What you mean? Of repudiation and ridicule beginning at the 1970s. Why? Because the African American and other African scholars and Egyptologists in the diaspora again, such as Chancellor Williams, hell of a teacher, George G.M. James, another hell of an author. I got all these books. I studied under Chancellor Williams, and my favorite master teacher, and I proud of myself after him giving information that you can actually use and correct information, John Henry Clark, and again, my favorite child, Yusuf A. Dr. Ben Yakinen. Okay, and my all these guys who I studied under, I know all them because this is where I got my information from. People who knew what they were doing and fought to prove what they was doing was right, not what they were saying. So I was in that rebellious concept with them. Sheikh Anti-Dia, remember that name? Sheikh Anti-Dia, where they all were denigrated and their struggles to be heard, and even from their own communities, was hampered by the constant nonsensical rhetoric and the diversion from Orthodox Egyptologists and catching Orthodox Egyptology by surprise. However, why? Because Sheikh Anti Diop not only did he challenge their opinions, which he knew was wrong, about the African origins of the ancient Egyptian culture, religion, and philosophy, but he offered overwhelming proof and evidence to support his contentions of the 1974 what they call UNESCO conference, the United, what they got here? What is somewhere down here? United something scientific something. Where is that? God damn it. United. When I get to it, I'll read that to you. But yeah, the UNESCO company. That was a bunch of Western civilization. I'll leave it with that. All right. What's this? Now he proved overwhelming. And at the conference in which he faced 18 of the, at that time, leaders of the Orthodox Egypt Egyptological community. All right? Those are the ones who will set the standard. In describing the evidence proven presented at the UNESCO conference, scholar, my boy again, A.C. Hilliard, A.C.G. Hilliard, excuse me, he described the proceedings as he recorded by the new media reporter, and they documented that everybody had a bunch of stuff to say. But when my man presented his case in scientific forum, such as opinions are unlikely to be expressed, so they will be unable to compete with the data-based arguments. For example, Dr. Diop presented 11 categories of evidence to support his argument for the native black African commissions. Watch this, pay attention, including eyewitness testimonies of classical writers, melanin level, right there, that word melanin, levels in the skin of the mummies. Now you got your biblical history, linguistics. I just told you, people here, they in Egypt, they black. And cultural comparisons, watch this, with the rest of Africa. Commission's self-description. They knew who they was. Excuse me, get excited. Calm down. All right, but Commission, you see we using Commission and not Egyptian? Whenever you hear Commission, that's the original. Egyptian is when they came and took over and started calling us what they wanted to call us, which is Egyptian. It means black or burn free. So why would you even argue that concept? Oh, Western civilization, white people. They want to take credit for everything. That's their ego. They just ego driven. They want to be. Y'all didn't start nothing. You ain't create nothing. You ain't originated a damn thing. Oh, racism. Yeah, that's your claim to fame. All right. But Commission's historical references, we got proof. We got evidence. Physical anthropology, data based on blood type studies, carvings, paintings, etc., to show you what the society or what the civilization was about during that time. What? That's evidence. That's what's called. We ain't got near speck of biblical evidence for nobody, but yet you tell me I'm supposed to believe people in their real. No, I know better than that. And anybody who have a brain should by this time know better than that. 2,000 damn years. It's just a book of knowledge. I study, I read it. Why? It's information I can use, hopefully, to teach somebody else with a concept. I listen to young people. Y'all need to go to church. Bible study. Why? Y'all don't know jack. You think your concept is the only one that counts. You don't know. But I get so annoyed. Now, give you a chance to speak. I respectfully listen. But I can't get that in return, so I can't help you. Oh, Lord. Keep a spare. Boy Scout. Okay, I gotta write nothing down, hopefully. All right, but don't do anything without knowing what you're talking about or what you're doing. That's all I'm saying. Do your due diligence, know what you're doing. And watch this. For them to claim, okay, with all this evidence, and that is why the reporter, okay, brought that to light. Okay, right there, the minutes of the meeting. Now, although the preparatory work papers, everybody had a chance, and they sent out to UNESCO, it gave particulars of what was desired, but not all the participants had prepared communications comparable with the painstakingly research and hard work and contributions of Professor Sheikh Anta Diop and his buddy Obanga. Why? Because there was consequently a real lack of balance and proof from the other side. So they couldn't say a word. But all this conference, there was either expressed or implied conscience of the following points. Watch this. No objection was raised against him. What that tell you? If a man say something, when he get finished talking, you can't say nothing. You telling the truth? Yeah, you got to add nothing to take it away. It's the truth. Moving on. So these got 9 things that I want to go over to you right quick. And this was to prove that we knew what we talked. And then I'm going to take you to the pictorial evidence of the origins of the ancient Egyptian culture. These are the 4 brands of man. Okay? And you look at them. The first one is Egyptian. The second is European. The third was a Nubian. The fourth was a Semite. So we knew who we was. We knew who they was. We and Nubians look alike, pretty much. Okay? But we knew the difference between the Semites and the damn Europeans. They knew. What you said don't mean nothing. We got proof. Again, you can say what you want and believe what you made, but the proof takes care of all that nonsense. There you go. That's what we got it for. Let me break this down for you. Now, in ancient Kemet, it was spelled KMT. Okay? No vowels. That's the ancient. Now, in ancient Kemet, the south and the north was always what? Ethnically homogeneous, meaning they all looked alike. You go in any hood, back in my day, all black people. You might now we mixed in a little Puerto Rican, but White stayed in the white hood, black stayed in the black hood. That's what they telling you. Ain't nothing changed. All that uniting as one ain't never gonna happen. Stop that. Why? It just ain't gonna happen. Moving on. I ain't got time for that. All right, I ain't hear me talking about that nonsense. I'm just making points. Now you got Professor Verkatis. He suggested that the population of Kemet had been made up of. You ready for this? He says that the population of Kemet had been made up of black-skinned whites. We might well have white-skinned blacks. What the hell is that? He says they were black-skinned whites and was treated trivially. Should have had it, took his license. Why? That don't make no sense. Okay. Number two. That was number two, excuse me. Number three. There were no, again, there were no data presented to show that the Commission's temperament and thought were related to Mesopotamia. Again, Mesopotamia followed us by thousands of years at least. Okay, so let's stop with that. I proved that point earlier. We done went through that stuff already. Moving on. All right, but now number four, the old Commission. You hear me saying when they say old and ancient, they don't say Egypt. See where I'm going? Okay, so understand the old Commission tradition speaks of what the Great Lakes region, where inner equatorial Africa is being the home of the ancient Commissions. Moving on. Number five, there was no evidence of large-scale migration between the Kemites and the Mesopotamians. No proof of that. So where did that idea come from? Mesopotamians invented the wheel, or they used the wheel in India. We knew the circle of the dot. We didn't use the wheel for transportation purposes, so we couldn't follow them. Moving on. Another, just like I say here, all guys make points and move on. So whatever you think and believe, don't care. I make my point and move on. You can take or leave it, lump it, don't make a difference. I ain't do the argument thing. Moving on. Once I hear you make your statement, I'll make my statement and we done. There were no Mesopotamian loan words, meaning they picked up their lingo. No, in Commission times. So therefore, the two cultures could have no genetic linguistic relationship or by populated by the same people. Difference. For comparison purposes, mention was made of the fact that when the documented contact with Kemet was made by the Asians, the Hyksos, again, invaders, again, outsiders, around what, 1700 BCE. But we was all far, we was so deep into what was going around, it just helped take us down. We've been going down since 32 BCE. But that's what, yep, that's when we start going down. The Indians can tell you when 1492, they'll never been the same. They should have killed their ass at the shore. They'd probably still be running the show right about now, but that's neither here nor there. But by 17 BCE, we already been led astray. We already been bamboozled. They just came in and started doing what they did too at 17 BCE. Jews. Loan words were left. There you go. Were left in Kemet. They let you know that we've been here. Okay. So now number six. There has been no empirical. Now empirical meaning proof. Hands down facts. There has been no empirical data proof which presented at the conference to show that the ancient Kemites were white. Why should it be? Why should it be? If their skin is black, they're black. How you gonna have a black white person? Makes no sense. Generally, there is a tendency for some historians to assume, watch this, to assume that developed populations were all white. When you notice about assumptions, make an ass out of you and me. More so you than me. But they assume that all those populations was white, but they require all proof and data to prove the blackness, other than the skin. White is okay. They white. We go. Black, you got to prove it. No. You got they white. They got black skin and white people and black skin. No, y'all did the black face. Y'all put the black face on y'all look like us. Y'all remember that either? I keep telling you, I know history. Mine and yours. Ours. How about that? And I do black history all the time. Why? That's our history. Moving on. Y'all should change this. Call it white history. No, y'all call it world history. Yeah, they hide it. Again, all those games that they play with the ignorant people annoys the hell out of me because y'all let them continue to do it. Y'all fall for the okie doke, but now I need to tell about it. Get knowledge, understand symbolisms, get some esoteric teachings so you can see the games that are being played on you. And they can still play them. They're going to play them. They ain't going to stop because you know it or you just know how to play now. Okay? Neo, the one, know himself. Why? He can break the matrix. He broke the code. With help, tutoring, and practice, you can do it too. I'm here to help you do just that. Moving on. I don't know why I got into that nonsense, but sorry. Let me get back to the lesson. Number 6. And they would always assume that white is good, black got to be proven. Okay, number 7. For my brother, Muslim Arabs, y'all conquered Kemet during the 7th century, during the Common Era. That's way late. That's y'all so late. Okay? And what's this? Therefore, your Arab culture is not part of the Kemet concept during any part of the 3,000 years of dynasty of Kemet. Y'all keep taking that 3,000. They like that 3,000 because that's when they came into the effect. That's when they came into Egypt and started running the show on the low. So they've been there a long time. But they don't tell you that 2,000 years prior to that, we educated them, we invited them, we taught them. And all of a sudden they came and going to take us over. Nothing I will get out of this, but that's just the concept teaching. Let me wrap this up. Now, we got number 8. Genetic linguistic relationships exist between African languages of Commission, the Kushites, aka Ethiopians, Punt or Somaliland, Berber, Chadic, and Arabic. Those are all different towns in the same area, vicinity in Africa. But Arabic only covered territory off the continent of Africa, mainly in adjacent Saudi Arabia, in an area of in ancient times that was what as much as Africa as Asia was. So they pretty much covered all of it, and they start branching off. And okay, that's fine, but let's understand the history, okay, and give respect where it's due. 9th one, let me wrap it up. Dr. Diop invented what? He invented for the purpose of making his point about us being black, the melanin dosage test. And he applied it to royal mummies in the Museum of Man in Paris, the mummies from the Marietta excavation, all, all had melanin levels consistent with what? The black population. Why? How you know that? White man ain't got no melanin. That's why he can't take the sun. That's why. So I'm not here to give you scientific breakdown. You do your own homework. But the black man is worshipped by the sun. That's why we are sun worshippers. We love the sun. We feed off the sun. That white man, he got going. No, he got the sunbathe. That sun burned his ass up. What do when the vampires, which is the bad evil people, they can't stand what? Sunlight. Most devils can't. They like the dark. They moonlight people. The Jews are moon worshippers. Did you know that? The horns, okay, that's the moon. Half moon, the corrupts man. And it's not follow the same concept. Y'all moon worshippers too. We ain't sun worshippers. No, y'all moon worshippers. But you worship a false god also. Moving on, I ain't got time for that. Get out of there. I have a whole bunch of knowledge of what y'all do and what you're supposed to do, what you think you're doing. And y'all practice it and don't know it. That behooves the hell out of me. You can teach me what you don't know about what the hell you doing, really? I'm gonna wrap it up again. I appreciate you tuning in. This is just a good lesson. I hope you can get understand. I'm trying to show you we've been doing this for a long time, and it's been put down and scrutinized for a long time. But watch this: all the dead bodies and mummies from ancient royal times have black population melanin, but the symposium participants made a strong recommendation that what that all royal mummies that were tested should be tested, and we did. But guess what? To this day, there's no word on was that ever done. And Dr. Diop struggled and spent the rest of his remaining years on this earth to have access to that information. Never did. Died not knowing. But he proved his point. We could check the melody count now and let him know, no, this is us. Where y'all started? Somewhere around here about 3,000, roughly 4,000 of that farther back. The Greek, why? Because y'all was ignorant. Y'all didn't know about, y'all didn't have no civilization until we came and civilized y'all. That's why I keep coming to Egypt. Yeah, right next door. You come right on across the river, 3 miles across the damn water, and come on down to Egypt, get your knots and going back home and become famous. That's what y'all did. Wrapping it up again, I'm gonna say this whole evidence of the pictorial evidence for the African origins for the next lesson. That's good. That's my next lesson. I'll wrap this one up. Right, thanks. Appreciate you tuning in. But in closing, you know the deal. May you all live to be 100, me 100, minus a day. So I never know my right thinkers who know that we Africans are black people have never passed away. I'll be right back with some more information.